So are these Earthlings under the impression that the world is gonna be a better place if we all become all Earth conscious like them? That would be like me telling them that the world will be a better place if everybody just went to church. Do you think they believe that?
I think what's happening. Propaganda.
More laws. Yeah, that's gonna make everything better. Laws that are gonna stretch around the globe and snare us to the global community. That's a palatable way of saying the New World Order. Liberals hate the concept of the New World Order, but are in deep denial of the fact that they're the ones dragging us into it. They blame capitalism for pollution, while they themselves pollute what capitalism is. I'm sorry, do they not use cars in socialistic and communistic countries too? Don't they have electricity to power their homes and industries? And despite the state owning the industries of their countries where capitalism doesn't exist, don't they have big pollution problems? Yes, they do. But once again, I fault the proponents of capitalism for liberals being able to distort the concept of capitalism. Free market conservatives who can't even market the free market and promote capitalism, leaving the concepts of the free market and capitalism vulnerable to the vilification of the left. Capitalism has nothing to do with emissions. It has nothing to do with toxic waste, etc. You deceived liberals think that capitalists cut corners to save a buck and resort to unethical business practices without concern for the environment and the population. Nah, man. When businesses have to protect themselves from the greedy socialist leading state that looks for any reason to impose fees and taxes, that's when businesses are far more apt to try to cut corners and try to skirt the minefield of laws imposed on them. Thus, a business is going to try to find any loophole it can, or cut corners, or will outsource, or they will just move overseas, or it will just get into bed with the state. That's what your left-wing liberal progressive policies do. And one of the biggest ways this is being pushed on us is through Earth worship. Y'all are being fooled into thinking that if everybody adopts your Earth sentiment, things will be better. Wrong. Things with mankind will not be better. If your objective is harmony across the planet, then you should be able to maintain your calm and not be a microphone-grabby bully when someone calls you out on your hypocrisy, as shown with Michelle Fields and RFK. You're seriously going about it backwards, and your methods are making things worse. After you Earthlings are done with your march, things are still gonna suck and gonna get worse as you get your way and more laws are imposed. Until y'all learn to stop imposing the institutionalization of selfishness and self-righteousness, the world will not get better. Until you stop justifying covetousness, theft, murder, adultery, idol worship, and basically stop hurting the perimeters that maintain proper respect between mankind. You think things will be better if you're good to the earth. Be good to the earth for what? What good is being good to the earth if we're crappy to each other? Being good to the earth ain't gonna solve us being better to each other. But being better to each other will be better for the earth. The more you try to force people to assume your worldview, the worse people will treat each other because your worldview is a forced expense. The people will feel the pinch and they will become more hostile to one another. But maybe if you so-called progressives would show more value for human life and would stop with your covetousness and would stop using the state to rip people off to facilitate your ideals and comforts, etc., then the balance of freedom would be more stable. Thus, the people would be more stable. People would have more respect for each other and do a better job at doing their part to keep their communities cleaner for each other and by their own volition, not out of institutionalization. But no, you guys don't want to do the real work it takes to have a more harmonious world. You're addicted to the cheap thrill of blaming others and wanting to punish others to appease your self-righteousness in the name of the earth. I'm Alfonso Rachel with Zone Nation, and I'll be the first to admit that there have been people guilty of bad business practices. But you don't fix bad business practices with bad policy practices. And don't expect the business world to be moral when they're built out of a self-righteous culture that wouldn't know morality if it was texted to them on an iPhone that they're enjoying while driving that electric car powered by batteries made with those toxic materials that y'all hate so much, charged by electricity generated by those fossil fuels that y'all hate so much. After you Earthlings are done with your march, things are still gonna suck